Alright, so you guys have seen this before. This is our radiation shield that we're using on the beer keg fusion. This is the one that Carmen built. We need to do some stuff to it. We're going to put a coat of paint on this because it's lead and it's toxic and we handle it a lot. And so before we paint it, what we need to do is from the casting, you can see here that the casting didn't turn out very good. Hopefully this comes across on the camera. And it's fine. Most of the casting is actually really quite sharp and done really well. But we're going to fill in all these voids on here. Unfortunately, this shield got dropped. So it has a little bit of a ding right here, and that part's messed up. So I'm going to file that down to try and fix it. On the flux, it's going to drip down. It'll make a little bit of a mess, but it's not that big a deal. I'm not too concerned about that. We'll clean everything up when we're done. And so because this has a lower melting point or solder, you can see that that's already melting into there. Looks like we're going to have to use gravity to help us out a bit here. Yeah, let's readjust this a little bit. Alright, so we just have to go get some wood because I need to kind of do this way. I'm going to lift it up a little bit, and since I can't put heat directly into the plastic, I had to lift it up. Use these wood blocks here. For those of you that notice that these are Kid Toys wood blocks, you would be correct. Do not be concerned. My kids no longer check out Thomas the Tank Engine. These are actually in our wood pile to be burned. It's not good. That's a problem. So let's play around with this. This shield's actually giving me a bit of trouble as far as getting the lead stick to it. What I'm finding is the last one that I did, pretty much out of the casting, we did the repairs on it almost right away. We got like an oxide layer that's built up inside here. So I need to try and knock that down because I noticed that it sticks really good to where you can see like the clean parts up here. I have no problem getting the lead sticking to that, but inside here, it does not want to stick. It's just rolling right out of there. So even the flux isn't breaking that down. I might need to switch over to an acid-based flux or something else, something that's going to break down that oxide layer on the inside. So this might take a little bit longer than I expected, but that's all right. We'll get it one way or another. Just got to figure it out. Right now I'm just trying to take the rasp and I'm going over the areas, seeing if I can get enough clean metal showing to where I can actually get it to stick. And if I can do that, then we'll call that good enough. Will it work? Don't know. But I think it's worth a shot. So we'll just try this out. We'll see how it goes. So this seems to be working. It's building up a lot more than I'd want it to. Which is kind of a pain because that's that much more filing I have to do after the fact. It's certainly not going anywhere near as well as the last one that I did. So in that regards, that's a little disappointing, but I think we can get this to work. You notice I switched, see, look at that, that just opened up right there. That's not even sticking to it. So it's not wetting to the surface at all. I need to think of something that we can use that can break down that oxide layer. That's going to make this work better. I think we got it now. So we're having issues with that oxide layer that was on the inside. So I played around with an acid-based flux. Actually, I had two of them. This is a standard one that you can get at like most of your hardware stores, like Ace Hardware would have this. Not so much Home Depot or Lowe's. They don't carry anything that's actually worthwhile. And this is another one that I use for stainless steel. Whenever I'm doing soldering on that, it works really well. This is a lot more expensive than this stuff, and they seem to work about equally well from the little test pieces I did. So I'm going to just keep on going with the cheap stuff and save this for when I really need it. Oh yeah, let's clean it nice. Not digging down too much on the inside, but it's definitely hitting some of the high points on that crystal structure inside there. That's just going to help this stuff stick, which will just make life a lot easier. Let's hit it up with a file a bit too, just to really expose the lead so it'll stick real well. I'm sure there's some old-time plumbers out there that used to work with lead that are probably looking at what I'm doing and saying, what the hell are you doing? If you guys are present, please leave us a comment. If you know a better way to do this, by all means, let us know. We are happy to take suggestions from the YouTube community. Okay, I think that's pretty good. So let's see if we can get those shavings out of there. Okay, let's put a little bit of this flux on. Probably way too much. Probably people cringing. Say, that's way too much. Well, maybe they're right. Let's see though. Let's see if we can't get this stuff to stick. Oh, definitely wetting much better than it was. It's a little hard to do because I'm trying to have it so that you guys have a good shot of this. You can kind of see what's going on here. So I'm coming in at it from the side, which I'm not used to, but it's okay. We'll make it work. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera off now, just so I can go ahead and finish up and do the rest of this area inside here, facing towards me so I can actually see what I'm doing. But yeah, I think it's going to work out pretty good. So, see you in a few seconds. Okay guys, went ahead and got this thing soldered up. That actually didn't take long at all. As you can see, it turned out really pretty good. It's a little bit blotchy, but really it went very quickly. There's two other spots I want to hit. I want to get this spot right here because it's a low spot from the casting just because we tightened the clamps too much. And of course this spot right here where we did a little bit of damage to it because it fell down on us. So these actually I suspect will go pretty good because they're flat and they're on the outside, so I can get these things cleaned off really well. And if they're cleaned off really well, then they should solder up really nicely. Okay guys, so just got done doing the solder job on the outside of the radiation shield, and now that I'm done doing it, actually I kind of wish that I recorded it because it just went so well. So here it is right here. That's where we had that seam earlier, and what was nice about this is I was able to just hit it up with some sandpaper, clean it up real good. I used the acid flux again, although I probably could have gotten away with the plumber's flux on this one. And it just coated really nicely. This hardly took any time at all to get done. So, you know, that's the difference between having nice clean lead to work with versus like here you can see how chunky that is. So that's clearly a valuable lesson here is if you are working with this stuff and if you need to patch it up, don't wait too long to do it. Don't let this crusty layer build up on the outside, especially in areas that you can't easily reach. And just get to soldering right away. It's cleaned up the outside pretty well. That's working pretty good. And you can see that coming off. So that acid and that flux is just breaking down that oxide layer, just getting us down to some really good clean metal. Yeah, that's it. That's what we want. Alright, and then just for while we're soldering, we'll get a little bit more on here. That way it'll help prevent another oxide layer from popping up on us. And let's see if we can't get this thing to solder up for us. So, neighborhood kids. They're a lot of fun. They're waiting for my kids to get home right now. Need a little bit more heat. Let's kick this up a notch. Yeah, it's wetting much, much better. There we go. That's not as good as the other side, but okay, it's cooled off now. So what we're going to do is just going to file on this thing until we get a decent layer all the way around. Okay, so here we start filing this thing down. It's at high speed, and eventually, you know, it's at almost 32 times, eventually at 64. We eventually got it. Worked out pretty good. Took a lot longer than what you see here, of course. Okay, guys, got this thing filed down. I'm pretty happy with it. The inside, there's a few areas here that have a few spots, a few little gaps and all that. I touched up a few areas, but I'm not going to go too crazy on it. We can see the voids on the inside are all filled in now, and that's what we were really going for. And then here on the outside, remember that ridge? Look how nice that turned out. That looks, it's nice and round now, the way how it's supposed to be. Very pleased about that. Here's the part that where it was damaged. On the outside, we got that fixed too. It's ready to have some paint put on it, so we'll do that on the next video. Alright, so you know, all went well. Very happy with that result. So don't forget to like and go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We received a lot of help from another YouTuber. It's Isaac Arthur. I'll put a link up to his channel He has a great video on nuclear fusion. I'll put that somewhere right about here. So go ahead and take a look at that and like and subscribe his stuff. He's just been really great. He's given us a lot of advice on like how to improve our videos, how to make them look better, how to do things like adding in links and that kind of thing. And so just like to give a shout out to him and say thank you. All right, guys, have a good one. You gonna help fix the radiation shield?
Since you can bend metal, just bend it as much as you can on the inside, and then just put a little bit of super glue, whatever you call it.
Oh, super glue.